Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. In the galaxy, speed is king. Most predatory species are built for the burst. The Cracks, a feline-derived race from the world of Velox, are the undisputed masters of this. They can sprint at 80 kilometers an hour. Their reflexes are 3 times faster than a human's. In a sprint, the Cracks win every time. When a Cracks infiltration team stole a prototype Terran encryption core from a frontier outpost on the plains of Oris, they weren't worried about being followed. They had a 5-hour head start and a destination, an extraction point 500 miles across the Great Savannah. The humans have no vehicles in this sector, the Cracks leader Exwell hissed to his team as they sprinted across the golden grass. Even if they did, the tall grass will clog their intakes. By the time they organize a search, we will be in orbit. They are slow, heavy, and weak. Exwell was right about the speed. He was wrong about the biology. He forgot that humans aren't built to be the fastest. We are built to be the last one standing. Silas Thorne, a scout for the Terran Frontier Rangers, didn't call for a dropship. He didn't call for a tank. He stepped out of the outpost, checked the wind, and began a steady, rhythmic jog. He didn't run at 80 kilometers an hour. He ran at 12. And he didn't plan on stopping. The first 50 miles were easy for the Cracks. They covered the distance in 2 hours, laughing as they looked back at the empty horizon. They stopped at a watering hole to rest. Their high metabolism bodies were burning fuel at an incredible rate, and they needed to cool down. 2 hours later, Exwell looked back. A small, dark speck was moving on the horizon. "Is that a human?" one of the Cracks asked, squinting through his optics. "Oh. We ran at full tilt." "It doesn't matter," Exwell growled. "He is miles away. Let us move again." They sprinted another 50 miles. They were starting to feel the heat. Oris's sun was brutal, and the Cracks, like most aliens, relied on panting and internal heat sinks to stay cool. But their heat sinks were filling up. Their muscles were cramping from the buildup of lactic acid. They stopped to sleep for 4 hours. When they woke up, Silas Thorne was only 1 mile away. "He's still coming," the Crack scout shrieked. "Does he not sleep? Does he not eat?" Silas wasn't sleeping. He was persistence hunting. He ate nutrient paste while he moved. He drank from a hydration bladder without breaking his stride. And most importantly, he was sweating. While the Cracks were literally cooking from the inside out, Silas's skin was a cooling machine, allowing him to maintain a steady temperature even under the midday sun. At the 200-mile mark, the marathon of death turned into psychological horror. The Cracks were faster, but every time they stopped to breathe, the steady step returned. No matter how fast they ran, that rhythmic thudding of human boots eventually caught up. It was the sound of an inevitable fate. "We have to fight him," one of the Cracks cried, his legs trembling. "We can't," Exwell gasped, his tongue hanging out. "We are too tired to aim. If we stop to fight, we will never start again. Run." By the 400-mile mark, the Cracks were a mess. They had discarded their armor. They had discarded their heavy weapons. They were stumbling, their heart rates soaring, their vision blurring. They reached the extraction point on the edge of a massive cliff, only to find the dropship was delayed by an hour. They collapsed in the tall grass, their bodies finally shutting down. They were the fastest predators in the galaxy, but they were empty. 20 minutes later, the grass parted. Silas Thorne walked into the clearing. He was covered in salt from dried sweat. His face was a mask of dust and determination. He was breathing hard, but his eyes were clear and his hands were steady. He stood over the 3 collapsed Cracks. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. He simply raised his rifle and pointed it at Exwell's head. "Wait." Exwell rasped, his voice a dry wheeze. How are you still standing? "We are Velox. We are the Swift." Silas took a long, slow breath, his chest expanding with the air the Cracks could no longer process. "Swift is good for the first mile," Silas said, his voice low and rhythmic. "But on Earth we didn't survive by being fast. We survived by being the thing that never, ever stopped. You ran 500 miles. I just went for a walk." Silas took back the encryption core. When the human recovery team finally arrived by dropship an hour later, they found the 3 Crack scouts tied up, unconscious from pure exhaustion. Silas was sitting nearby, leaning against a rock, calmly changing his socks. The Galactic Council's new entry on human persistence was categorized as a Tier 1 predatory warning. Do not attempt to outrun a human on foot. They are the galaxy's only true endurance predators. While you are faster in the short term, they possess a biological cooling system and a psychological drive that allows them to maintain pursuit for hundreds of miles without rest. If a human starts walking after you, you are already caught. You will only die tired. Humanity had proven the ultimate biological HFY truth. Evolution didn't give us claws and it didn't give us speed. It gave us the ability to keep going when everyone else falls down. We are the species of the long road. We are the ones who finish the race. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. Take a break. We'll wait for you. If you enjoyed this victory of human endurance, hit that like button. Comment below. What's the farthest you've ever walked in a single day? Subscribe for the grand finale of the Boots of Terra, the last stand at Bastion Ridge. The road is long. We're still walking.